we're about ready for kickoff. And Wally, the Lady Warriors, in black and gold. The referee looks like he's about ready to go. It's quite breezy and warm in the sun, and lovely in the shade. The pitch is quite dry today, a little rough in spots. Should be the kind of day where a team is going to be rewarded for keeping possession. It should be pretty easy to do. No nasty rain as we've seen in previous weeks. Tough day to kick. The wind looks like it's blowing in the direction that favors Jyväskylä. And here comes the kickoff. And here comes the kickoff. Cleanly taken. Nice gain for the first possession. Here comes the first phase. Ball's out relatively quickly. Back to the 8-man. Nice run. Stays up. Gets support. Next one needs to go to the ground. Penalty. That's either holding on to the tackle. Or ball carrier. Tackler's not going to mix. One knee on the ground counts. At that point, the tackler has to get out of the way so the team can ball can move rapidly to the next phase of attack. So here's a penalty kick. The ball did not go straight out. We'll talk about how that works later. Yep, and that went out on the full, which means the ball comes back to where it was kicked. Offside's on the kick. That's even better for the Warriors. So a full penalty with the hand raised up like that is a bigger penalty. And you can choose to kick the ball to the sidelines. If it goes straight out, you get the ball where you kicked it. So you can advance 30 meters. Warriors on the ball. Oh, that's a knock on. Drop the ball. No advantage there really gained by the other side, so we're going to have a full scrum. Show you how the scrums work.
16 people get involved and push against each other and no one knows what happens.
The dark mysteries of the scrum. So the touch judge is commentating on our commentating. We'll not have that, sir.
Somebody please find a Stephen Thorne in Aussie Bar later for annoying the commentators.
Beatings will be handed out at the bar. Okay, so this is a push of war over the ball. It's helpful for everybody to bind together very tightly and get their body position as low as possible and push with everything they have. You want to push the other team over the ball. Warriors have a nice drive there. That makes it very difficult for the other side to get the ball out. They had a nice run to the weak side. Big hit though, big tackle by the Warriors. Ball comes out. This is the first phase for Jyväskylä. That's their first run. Short game. They get the ball out relatively quickly. No real gain there. Maybe just a meter or two. Ball's not coming out quickly. The scrum half is away. It's called the pick and go. So most of the time there is really hard to do. Okay, the ball goes out to the backs. No gain there. They lost the meters. Nice running by Jyväskylä. Oh, there's their breakaway. Good tackle by the fullback. Oh, there's a turnover. Warriors ball. Warriors back line gets set. Pack is getting organized. There's a quick pick and go there. Go by one of the top numbers. ball's out to the centers. Okay, ball's getting out wide. Okay, the ball went all the way out to the wing and then came back in. It's a turnover sadly. Oh, Jyväskylä is out of bounds, so they're pushed into touch. This will give us our first line. How would you explain the line?
Someone gets lifted, ball gets thrown up, and you have to hope that it comes on your side while it's going down the middle at the same time.
So this is essentially a jump ball. The rules require that you put the ball down the middle of the tunnel between the two lines so each side can compete for it. With this kind of breeze, it's difficult to do that. Did we get a call for Nadiska? Some minor infraction of the lineup. Scrum's been awarded to Waller.
Highly likely that was a line-out not going straight. You get the option of retaking the line-out or scrum.
Run! Five! Iri, miten se Toni jappa? Set!
Okay, nice scrum, ball out, ball's going wide. Passes are a little rocky. So that's a knock on, and it's going to be a scrum awarded to Atsu. I should apologize in advance for my terrible American accent as I attempt to say Finnish words. Okay, scrum to green. Big push by the Warriors. The ball is out. Jyväskylä likes to run loop quite a bit. That's the third time they've done that at the set piece. So, another face. Oh, that looked like a knock-on. Penalty. Offsides by So, they can kick the ball and just start a running play. Tap the ball and throw it to another player, or they can kick to the sidelines and then they get the line. So they're out on the kick for a touch, sideline, and it looks like they gained about 15 meters there. They're 15 meters out from the try line. The best position is on either side of the defense has been pretty strong this week, but they have not been able to run it. It's been very strong.
I have to say, like, this is a very strong mauling position. So if Jyväskylä can take, or they take it down the blind side.
Oh, there's another knock-on, turnover. Let's see what Waller can do here. They're going to kick it away because they're deep in their own territory. Really with a nice kick. Well taken by the scrum half. Now she's tied up, so it's going to be harder for them to get the ball out. There's a whistle. Oh, offsides on the kick. That's big trouble. Big tackle at the goal line. Held up. So in order to actually score a try, you have to get into the equivalent of an American football end zone, but actually touch the ball to the ground. It's not getting over the line, it's touching the ball down over the line. So the Warriors were able to hold the ball up and not allow the attacking player to touch the ball down.
Thomas is on the far side, you can call him and ask.
I have no lights on this display. It's a power issue.
Like that.
Do you still have power or are you running on battery?
Power.
Sure.
Yeah. No, there's no power. Yeah, you're right.
There's no electricity here either, so it might be the box.
Can you check and look for like a circuit breaker?
No, we're not going to go there. All the fuses were up, so I don't know how to call the...
Said something.
Yeah, no, it was fine today.
Yeah, we have it now.
Okay, we're back after significant technical difficulties.
So the fuse in the extension cord had gone off.
Electricity being critical to broadcasting. Sorry about that. So it's now 7-0 visitors. Jyväskylä did get in. Here's a knock-on. It's from some Warriors. Scrum looks nice and low. I think it's the bigger push. Okay, Warriors with a very nice push there. That's a nice clean scrum and a good view of it from here too. Ball's out to the backs. Oh, nice break, nice break. Oh. Okay, that was an excellent game. Oh, short loss on the weak side run. Warriors back up and reset. Here comes the ball again, another crash play. Nope, out to the backs quickly. That's Bob, the outside center. Nice run. Ball's out. Here we go. Run it up, run it up. The rucks are hot. Atsu is doing a nice job of really making it hard to get the ball out quick for the Warriors. Oh, not releasing. So, the general idea is the tackler has to release the runner, and the runner also has to release the ball. So there can be a fair contest between the two sides, between the next players that come into form the ruck. And if the runner is viewed as vulnerable by the ref, then the amount of time they get to physically hold on to the ball gets really short. They're preventing the opportunity of a properly placed defender to steal the ball or jackal. Then the penalty comes for him. If there's no one in a good position to jackal the ball, then you get a little more time to organize your next play and you can hold on to the ball a bit. It's very inconsistent, but it's all about opportunity to compete. So how much time before a penalty is given for moving the ball away or for letting them the ball really has to do with the circumstances in that moment. So Jyväskylä when in touch looks like Warriors throwing. Warriors are getting a little bit more of their lineouts. Let's see if they can take this one down. And lost again, but there seems to be a penalty of some variety. Yep. Waving his hand like that says the ball got knocked forward. Looks like Warriors is opting for the scrum instead of trying to line out again. Good call because they've had no success with their scrums right now in their lineouts.
It actually seems like it's a Jyväskylä put in because Warrior knocked it on one time.
Yes, I sit correctly. Okay, so who's going to have the bigger push here? Jyväskylä looks like they're slightly lower. Everybody's in a good position. Here's the push. No real advantage. The ball got sent back nicely. Not the best pass. That's a knockdown. That's going to be advantage volley. Another screen. Now, it is pretty crazy out there. It's a little harder to see, but if you look at the trees in the background, you can see that they're moving around quite a bit. So the wind is not consistent. It's a bit gusty. And that ball does have a tendency to float in there. It's a big round, not very aerodynamic ball. Unless you throw really crisp pass and keep them relatively short, it'll float around on you. It becomes very difficult to get it to hand. We're seeing guys that look like they're from floating passes. There's the put in. Nice stable scrum. That was backwards, not a knock. It's okay to play the ball and lose it backwards. Quick chip ahead by Ida, the inside center. Oop, he picked that ball up. Can't tell. Looks like Wally picked the ball up. Very good. Bounced off a retreating player, was trying to get onside. Play on, no big deal. Ball's out. Here's our crash player, very great. She's a very dynamic runner. Ball out again. Oh, that was interference. Is this going to be an advantage? Looks like the advantage is all accidental interference, but still with penalties coming. Now, if Wally can advance the ball and make the gains, then it's just play on. Here's the ball out. Oh, the crash play inside for the big player. Oh, high tackle. That's a big penalty. It is a major no-no to tackle anyone above the armpits. So that looked like what we would call a seatbelt tackle, with the arm kind of draped around the shoulders, around the neck. As high tackles go, that was not terribly severe, but to protect player safety, the refs really are very, very strict about high tackles. Okay, big ruck there. Oh, it looks like that might be a turnover. Penalty for, I imagine, not releasing. Oh, decided to tap through and go quick. Not sure the tap the mark, but about 6 yards there. We want to catch that ball in full stride. We want to reach behind the so this is going to be rolling to Jyväskylä RC.
You guys got to draw less power.
Gotta make less.
So turn the coffee pot off. It's not his fault.
No, at least it's like, you understand now.
You seem to have an issue with the circuit breaker. So we're trying to do some of the power for other stuff so we can stay a little more consistent and being so as you've seen, Wally was kind of in jail but won the ball on the line out and has been able to grind their way back up the pitch. Wally put in for a scrum because of the Jyväskylä. Ball's in. Oh, ball's lost. Jyväskylä gets it, runs weak side. They're attacking weak side all day here. Ball's out, crash play forwards. Again, looks like it goes to their backs. Oh, Jimmy was massive, but she breaks the tackle to get through. Tackles come up hard. So we have a penalty advantage again. Look at what the offside there. Okay, hard to say for sure, but it looked like an offside. Wanted to start quickly, but they didn't quite execute properly, so they just had to do over. They're going to call a play. Imagine it's a crash play on the props. So it looks like it, so they go. Another play going back. Sorry, Pat Brenner out of the center. Across the line. Oh, not quite across the line, sorry. So there was a turnover. It's hard to keep up with this play is frantic. Did Wally turn that over? It looks like they did. It's a nice chance to get a kick and get out of jail. Set up the press. That looks like it might out
Two volley players down on the sideline, but it's very difficult to kick out in this area.
It's hard for me to think in terms of meters per second, but it's pretty reasonable. I think these gusts probably go up to 6 meters per second. That's a lot. Okay, so it looks like we're having a water break, and I think let's call for a sub. So on a particularly hot day like this, it's a 40-minute half, and rugby is a very demanding sport in terms of endurance. So oftentimes they have to call a water break roughly halfway through the half. Because it's windy, they've been throwing not to a jumper in the line out, but to the first person in the line out, their prop, and doing the crash. Pretty consistent. think the wind is off good position for basketball. Opted for another shot. Not taking damage, that's a counterattack. Get low in the tackle. If you get low in the tackle to stop those runs. Nice counterattack. We've got about 12-15 meters there. You lost your ball. Whistle. That's a penalty against Wally, so not sure what that's for. Some picking up along the road. Looks like they're going to do crash play again, so we're going to props. Yep. That's going to be their bread and butter. Need a lower tackle. Ball's out again. Low tackle, but still the player up. Okay, penalty and a quick tap by Warriors. Going 10 meters, the ball's bouncing around a little bit. Nice the rest ball. Passes are a little wild coming out of the scrum. We need to settle that down. Looks like that went to Cut. Information coming in. Looks like from the side judge to where the mark was, so no advantage. Still penalty to the line. There's a quick pick and go to save the down. Looks like a nice wedge play. Quick pick and go. 2 meters of down. Gets up in the space. Oh, nice run. Nice run. He's looking for support on the outside. Milani is waiting for that ball to make a breakaway. It's dangerous. She just needs a little space. Nice game to push back a little bit in this phase. There's another crash play. Makes the goal line. Looks like the Wally fly half is taking some shots today. Is this the number 3? Nice series of phases here, but Jyväskylä is really making life hard on Wally to maintain possession of the ball. We've got a whistle for something in there. Scrum. Jyväskylä. So I'm assuming that's a knock-on. Wally's done well to keep the score where it is and grind their way into the opposition half at this point. So now they need to hold Jyväskylä here on their side of the pitch, not let them make bigger gains, and turn that ball over and see if they can keep the score in this game. Oh, nice offload. Turned into a knock, then another knock, so that should be from the line. Jyväskylä unloads the ball. They're typically getting 7 or 10 minutes. So time off. Hard to say what happened, but these collisions are now you look at yeah, it's almost an interesting point. something that's a little spongy and absorbs some of the impact. And something hard that put your arm down awkwardly, shoulder, head goes into the ground, and snaps down to the grass. That's one thing. And the hard pack is something completely different. Each year is in pretty good shape, but it's definitely bald in spots in the middle for the last several weeks.
Yeah, we also share this field with the American football here, so the field just gets absolutely torn up. So the middle of the field's pretty barren, and it's definitely going to hurt a lot more than if you take it on the sidelines.
Okay, so we've sorted out the injuries that look like they were substitution. But there's a Jyväskylä player who's receiving some attention from a teammate. If you do get cut, you can't have a bleeding wound and be on pitch. So you have to leave the field. You can come back if you get it sorted out. She's taking the jersey off, so she needs to got cut on her head, or maybe with a knock to the head, and she's just out of abundance of caution, stay out of the game. Have to be very thoughtful about that injuries in the spring. Okay, ball's out, but there's a whistle for some reason. Penalty, I'm assuming that's offside. Sometimes a scrum half can get a little over anxious and cross the line of scrimmage in their attempts to defend and follow up. Did he signal the wrong way, or did he initially? Yeah. So he originally signaled that it was a Wally penalty, but it now looks like hands on the ruck. Penalty to Jyväskylä. Okay, that's a kick to touch where they do 8 or 10 meters, I would say. Might be a little calmer on that sideline because of all the trees. So let's see if they do a jump ball. Warriors have 2 strong kickers, one of those in the cap of French, but now Warriors got the ball. Nice kick. Straight to the opposing fullback. She gets a few meters and gets back up. Yep, just at the 22 meters, so some pressure relieved by Wally. Not a clean ball, as you can see. Looked like there was a knock on there. Up backwards. Another good pace, out to the backs. Ooh, a wild pass, but it worked. Lost a little yardage, but they're maintaining possession. Oh, there's a great steal. Either with the ball and a little help outside, with the breakaway. Oh, ball to the outside to Yulia. This could go. This could go. Excellent try. Excellent counterattack.
It's just so difficult to defend against the counterattack, especially when you're just outnumbered out wide. and that's what happened there. Jyväskylä were getting back. They probably would have made the tackle, but it was just the one support player that made the mistake.
Towards the end of that run, and Ida was inside center, was kind of running out of space and kind of running out of options. After making that close to 40 yards. Without help on that outside supporting you, without someone to give the ball to, that's not a try. So you really have to follow and support your teammates to make those big games turn into scoring it this makes me face.
Yeah, that kick was definitely on target. Just the wind itself was probably kept it out from going in a bit. So in the second half, kicks like that, especially from the 22 area, will definitely be very difficult.
And there's the restart, nice high kick. Forward. Here comes the next stage. Yep, crash ball. There we go, nice run. Excellent roughing through the ball. Oh, penalty. We'll take that. We should do a running play there. It's just too hard to touch from big strong yards after yards like a hard fly. Another quick ball takes a funny bounce. Let's see what happens on the counter attack. Excellent tackle. Good offload though. Ball's loose. It's so frustrating. After a couple of good tackles, it's a nice. Looks like we might be a half with this So volley to kick off and Jyväskylä to receive. Jyväskylä now has the wind in their face. They're going to have the disadvantage there in the second half. Ref checks with each side to see that they're ready to go. Big John's in the house. Saturdays are rugby day. And here's the kick. Looks like that's not 10 meters. The kick's retired to go 10 meters. So it'll be the option for scrumming the there's to Jyväskylä. So a scrum literally center field, left to right, provides a lot of options for running the ball on the other side. It'll be interesting to see how Jyväskylä lines up. They've been running these all day when there wasn't a lot of space. So what Wally's going to do is each person is going to mark their number. While we move forwards, we're going to have to keep their heads up to see which way they go so they can support the back line on whichever side. Look for movement.
was just a very good drawn pass there from the Jyväskylä 9, which helped gain an extra 5. Jyväskylä, I love running down the blind side, which is very helpful to their game. When you run down blind side, there's high chances that the defense are just not ready there fully. It's kind of the least protected area, which is why it's called the blind side. But this great run by Jyväskylä, straight up into the 22. Warriors coming back now to defend. Good gather, made it difficult, but she kept hold on it.
Jyväskylä is being effective in their crash ball and being effective in getting long runs and finding small holes. Oh, shoot, that's a game. A quick little sidestep and one, just bad luck tackle can get you through when you're deep in enemy territory.
As a 9, it's very, you have to see gaps that don't appear, and that was just a gap that showed itself for a split second, and Jyväskylä get a try, and a very kickable try as well.
Yeah, the amount of space that you need to slip through can really be a matter of, half a meter, sometimes less than that. If you don't have a opposition player, if you don't have a defender like squarely right in front of you, then you have a great opportunity to just run through an outstretched arm, through an arm tap. And a determined runner who's quick and can make that decision quickly can find a lot of opportunities. And the deeper the attack goes, the harder it is for the defense to recover. That looked like that went wide.
Yeah, it just looked like the charge down was a good enough charge down to distract the kicker. You're allowed to charge down the kick once the kicker starts making the forward motion for the kick. So the short kick distance and the charge down is enough to distract the kicker, to pull it a little bit to the right.
Okay, so we now have 12-5. Basketball got involved in the second half. And Wally needs to now build their own momentum and play their own game. Keep the ball, keep the other side under pressure. Run right at it. And here's the kick from inside center, Rita. Nice high kick this time. Well taken by, looks like the man. Ball's out pretty quick. Crash ball to one of the forwards. Oh, lost forward. There's a nice turnover. Right now it's advantage Wally. They keep the ball. Advantage will be over. We're just going to play on here. Crash play to the second row player. Ball's out quickly. Oh, unlucky. So that was a whistle. That was a knock-on, and everyone stopped playing. They were expecting the ref to blow the whistle. The basketball players were yelling, play on, because they hadn't been a whistle. And then, of course, there was. So now it was from putting green.
Actually, it comes back to the original knock-on that. Oh no, it's not. Okay. I expected, because it was brought back there, it's been brought back to the original knock-on where Jyväskylä lost the ball forward.
So that's an interesting point. He played the advantage for a long time. So one side does a knock-on, but the other side has the ball and is advancing it. For a certain amount of time, you have the advantage, and if you make a mistake, you go back to the original infraction. If too much time goes by, the advantage is expired. It looked like to me that the advantage had expired because it was a long time. Penalty advantages, because they're bigger problems, are long, and minor advantages are that's a penalty for sure, diving over the ball. You have to stay on your feet when you ruck in support of a tackled player. And it looks like that didn't happen, so let's see if they're going to run their crash play. They're in the middle of the field, I think they're running the crash. They could kick for touch, but they probably only make 10 or 12 yards. Yep, that's the crash play. Well, looks like they're going to run deep. That's a big breakaway. One-on-one tackle for Yulia. That's difficult to do. And looks like she's through the try in the corner. Excellent run by Jyväskylä.
Yeah, it's very difficult when it's one-on-one and you have a player charging towards you and you're standing still. It's very difficult to get that tackle off because all the momentum is with the attacker in that scenario. And just one half step to the side can just take the defender completely out, and that's exactly what happened there.
I would say that that's about as difficult to defend as a penalty shot in hockey or a penalty kick in proper football / soccer. It's just really hard to do. If you think about open field one-on-one tackles in, say, the NFL, the best players of the world at that game have less than a 50% success rate. It's just really difficult. Okay, looks like that went wide as well. So time for Wally to go.
It's very difficult to kick against wind, especially when you're expecting wind to be there, and if there's no wind gust and you kick expecting there to be a wind gust, you're gonna just pull it wide, so it's a very difficult thing to get right.
The other thing is, in rugby you may have noticed the extra point is not in the middle of the goalpost. The extra point comes on a line straight away from the goal line from where the ball got touched down. So if you score a try and penalty, you have a much more difficult night. Nice kickoff, nice and deep, well taken. One pass, nice crash. Again, another offload in the game. Tough run. Lots of yardage, back to the 50. Excellent counter ruck. It looks like a penalty advantage for something in all of that. It's hard to see. Coach on the sidelines at Jyväskylä is yelling penalty, so they know they have an advantage. They're going to kick the ball to see if they can make something big happen. So when you have a penalty advantage, you can take a chance because worst case, you just come back to the penalty. So Jyväskylä kicked the ball down, hoping that they could get like a nice bounce and pick up that ball and run it and potentially score. It's a low percentage, but zero risk tactical decision. So worst case, it's line out for Jyväskylä way upfield. So even though they weren't very likely to get a score in a huge game there, we still opted for the cut, which makes sense. Oh, that was a little sloppy, but it went backwards. Nice handoff. Good tackle. Wally defense is doing a good job of getting in place. Their tackles are not quite what they need to do in defense, but Wally is getting where they need to be. They just need to firm up their tackles. That was a good tackle. Oh, nice counter ruck. There's a Frenchman in my way. I'll not have it. Okay, little sloppy here, but they're maintaining possession. Here's a crash play, not much of the game there. Jyväskylä is doing a great job of protecting the ball and maintaining phases. Defense comes up hard this time. Oh, and Tony will be mentioning our sponsors again and again momentarily. Ball goes out wide, but it's a bit of a bad pass, so that slowed down the attack. Oh, excellent steal. Unfortunately, we have a penalty from sometime last year that we're coming back for. I jest. I did not see where that penalty was in but it looks like we're coming back for a previous penalty. The ref has been playing down.
Also, someone make sure to find Pierre Albin Waters at Alcibar later on this evening for annoying the commentators. That's the second strike today.
Oh, and 3 strikes he's out if he does that fancy sidestep hoppy move on the pitch today. Okay, nice handoff and a nice drive here. Jyväskylä just made 15 meters. They're about 5 meters out from the try line, threatening to score again. Big drive here. Wally defense is holding her up and pushing her back. The ball's available. Have to go to the back lines if they go right. They're going to crash left. Oh, there was that elbow in that tackle. I'd like to see that one on video. Okay, so try awarded.
Yeah, we don't have the graces of the TMO here, so even if there was the elbow there, we can't, like the referee decided it was a try, so try stand.
So it's of course very difficult from 30 meters away to see exactly what happened. What I was referring to was the Jyväskylä runner was kind of facing sideways, 90 degrees to the try line, and was working hard to continue the game. So I don't think it was anything intentional, but it looked like she elbowed a tackler. I would say if that's in fact what happened. But if somebody saw that, inadvertent or not, send off another player whether that made it a material impact on the fact that there was a try or not. Send off players in those penalties even by us. So who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, the second half of Jyväskylä have definitely started making their chances more. The first half, while we were able to hold out in defence, but the second half, Jyväskylä just especially when they get closer, it's like they're impossible to stop. But that kick out went fully over everyone. Great kick out. With a gust of wind right behind you, like it can make these kicks very difficult to judge on receiving because the little bit of wind behind it can just take you about an extra meter or two.
So, having watched the last several games for Wally, I can see that their ability to retain the ball has improved quite a bit week over week. Conditions have had a lot to do with that, but they need to continue that improvement and just possess the ball a lot more. They need to win these lineouts and not turn them over and give the other side an opportunity. They need to pass clean and maintain possession. They do need to avoid some of these penalties. All these things are providing possession and opportunity for Jyväskylä, and they're really strong runners. They're hard to tackle, so they're taking great advantage of the opportunities that are presented to them. So here's a kick for touch. It goes straight out and looks like they gained about 15 meters or so. It will be a line out to Jyväskylä.
Yeah, this is only the first game of the day as we have the men's team playing. The men are currently warming up on the side, but this is a good lineup. It's just missed everyone and a knock on Wally. So as the scrum sets, just remember after this, go and have some food at the Lazy Fox. It's one of our main sponsors. Good food, English breakfast, for example, pancakes, meat pies, everything like that. And I know pies can be dry sometimes, so go wash it down with a few bevies down in the Aussie bar.
I think it's fair to say that it's one of the few proper and respectable pints of Guinness available in the fine city of Helsinki.
I can fully confirm this. It's probably the only good Guinness I've had in this whole city.
Yeah, that's from an Irish guy who knows a little bit about drinking. Okay, free kick to Wally for an infraction at the scrum. If they kick the ball out on the fly, it goes to the other side, so this is going to be a tap and go.
The main differences you have with a free kick and a penalty is kind of like how in football you have indirect and direct free kicks or penalties. You can only score off direct free kicks, you can't score off an indirect free kick. And the free kick is more like an indirect penalty for us. So, oh, this is a good one. Oh, ball's out wide. Good hands keep the extra 2 meters going. Wally now have a good chance to attack. As Jyväskylä's defense is quite narrow, but now they're starting to get people out wide. There's a few gaps opening up in the Jyväskylä defense. And this is something that Wally does very well. They force teams to commit 2 or 3 players into a tackle. Oh, this is a great gap pick by Lily. Lily made about 5-10 meters there by herself, and then she got the offload. Ball still in play. They're probably going to come down the right side. Track one that went backwards, but no loss there. So Wally can just go forward again.
Just need to maintain possession and work and stay away. Oh, nice offload. Excellent.
Yeah, it looks like there was an offside advantage there, but there's a great offload inside. They've got the player down at the moment. But yeah, there's a great offload inside, like extra 2 meters, but also Jyväskylä were equally up to it with a great grip tackle. So the player was going to just rip the ball through the tackle, and Jyväskylä, if there was no penalty advantage, could have easily had a very good attacking position from there, because all the Warriors were caught up in the blocking area. Yeah, it's a Warriors player that was down, but trying to figure out who it is. But it looks like a move. I'm trying. Is that Lily? I think. Oh yeah, I can't really see from here. Even though I have my glasses on, the distance is a bit too far. This is good pod play by Warriors at the penalty kick. Made a really good 10 meters there. And the forwards are running very strong, which is what you need when you're playing flash play like this. Forwards running strong. The support from Warriors as well. Oh, this great ball out wide. Oh, great line pick. The offload just wasn't there, and now Jyväskylä have the ball. Sometimes offloads, especially when you've broken the line, there is no offside off it, so the opposition player can easily just pick them off. And that looks like the Warriors have regathered it. And there's a penalty to Jyväskylä probably for playing the ball on the ground. So you're not allowed to play the ball while you're grounded. So
Okay, it looks like they're going to kick for touch off to the sideline there. Nope, they're going to run it. They just want to play some. Ball's out again. There's another scrum run for FINNISH. Ball's out again quickly. Oh, not handled very cleanly. She's going to get munched. Bit of a knock on there.
yeah, it was very 50-50 whether that went forward or scrum. As now the Warriors men are making their way down to the field. They'll play straight after this game. So stick around to watch that.
Okay, so now we have a scrum pretty much right in the middle of the field, just slightly on the Wally side of the pitch. So it's a great opportunity to run either left or right. If the scrum is nice and stable with it, and run to either one side or another, to an instant extra player on the right side.
Down the sideline here. Looks like the ankle is getting picked up. And straight on the water break. You have 1 minute break. When the heat is up, it's currently about 25. Yeah, it's
quite crazy and cool in the shade, but it's so punishing.
Based on last week's games, it was very killer to play in such conditions, and today you're only 7 grades, it's a little bit windier, so it gives you a bit of a cool down. But when it's very sunny like this and you're running with money kilos, you're sweating, you can't sustain it for long, so you need these water breaks.
And she's back.
Back in the day, we had the magic sponge. You could cure a broken leg, so maybe this is what's happened here.
Yeah, there's a bit of an eruption burden. Your arm might have fallen off, and it'd be like eruption burden if you can do it. That is just a wet sponge. The expectation is heavy wetsuit when you get out and play that. As I like to say, rugby's not forever.
Back in my early days of playing, it was either you got taken off and then out into the magic sponge fixed you. There was no
Common for rugby in many parts of the world. Okay, so there was some sort of a technical pushing too soon.
Yeah, usually free kicks become scrummage for an early engage. And an early engage has to be called because it is a very dangerous play when your team isn't ready to take contact. Oh, this is a great run. Ball down now, the ball get forward, and they just make it back to the game line. So Jyväskylä have made no ground here. Wally holding strong. This is good. Everyone up on the side, and Jyväskylä now push back a meter or two. When the fence comes up quickly, it's very difficult to do anything, but it also leaves gaps like this, and Jyväskylä have been brought into touch now inside the Warriors 22, but Warrior have the input to the line out. So more than likely what will happen is if Warriors win their line out, they'll do it up the field, especially with the wind on their side.
Yeah, so when you're deep in your own territory, securing the ball from the line out is really important. There's a couple of kickers for Wally who really have big, what we call a big boot, they kick quite far. So a clean line out here should allow a long kick, hopefully straight out of touch, and then release some pressure. Lineouts are not going well for Wally today. It's been the source of numerous turnovers. So now there's a lot of runners out wide. Wally's defense is stretching. Need to make a clean tackle here. Okay, that'll do.
I think it's always a big issue at lineouts when it's windy. When you throw the ball straight down the middle and a little gust of wind takes it, it can easily take the opposition side. We already have a turnover here and a penalty, or not a penalty to Jyväskylä. It'll be interesting to see what the call is. We have a bit of a obstruction of view here, so it's difficult to say what it is. But this is a very kickable penalty. With a Jyväskylä player down. This is very kickable, like Jyväskylä have a 19-point lead. Oh, he's put it to... Is that a Warriors penalty? Yes, it seems to be a Warriors penalty, okay. So yeah, this is good then for Warriors to clear their lines. More than likely, they're going to run it out and get up to the 22, hopefully. And that's what Warriors do very well. They have to make 2 or 3 players, and now it's coming out wide. And this is a good breakaway. Up until the 10-meter line, and a good offload to Lily. Now he can do that. Very good offload up to about halfway. This is very good from Wally. They made a lot of yardage out of nothing, so this is very good. Up to halfway line now. And it looks like a lot of pod plays coming. Oh, Ida kicks it up. If you can get, this could be a 50-22. This is a this is a 50-22. The ball came from the Warriors half, and the line out will be given to Warriors input. but the referee's walking backwards, so the referee's given a penalty, even though. So yeah, the penalty was given. Warriors did win a 50-22 there, but the referee deemed the penalty to be more important here. So Warriors are going to run. Then the chances are Warriors may hit just slightly over the halfway line, so the 50-22 is off. Or if they drag the ball into the half, if the ruck was in the opposition half and they put the ball into the half themselves, then the 50-22 is called off. So that's probably what the referee saw.
So the Warriors just had a great series of phases where they were finding the little gaps and they were offloading the ball clean, and they went from 15 years with their backs to their own sideline through the halfway. So clean passes and maintaining possession is really the trick to the game. Now we probably have about 20 minutes left in this game, and Warriors are trailing a fair bit. What I think we'd like to see here in the booth is a little more control of the ball. Everybody's getting tired out there. There's going to be more goals. There should be some opportunity and a bit of a comeback here if the Warriors can just keep possession of the ball.
Yeah, if Warriors can get the ball out wide, then there's a big advantage because Jyväskylä are playing very narrow. So bringing the ball out wide, it's a great tackle, but yeah, bringing the ball out wide, good jackal and actually a steal. Great defense, Lily again, and now the ball's going to go down the blind side. Jyväskylä have overloaded the blind side, but this could be a good, not long. But yeah, when the blind side is overloaded like that, getting one or two phases out to the blind is a very good advantage to you because they have a lot of defense. Oh, that's a great run by Jyväskylä, knocking down the Wally defender. And now just made it up to the game line. Jyväskylä can easily put, this is a penalty to Wally. It'd be interesting to see the call. It looked like they were holding on. Yeah, holding on to the ball on the ground. So yeah, Wally are gonna run it again. As you can see, the Jyväskylä defense is very narrow. So getting the ball out wide is definitely a good advantage here for Wally if they can. Oh, great gap spot by Ida. She's very lead support. She's got help inside, but now we're up to about in between the 10 meter and the 22. But Wally have been able to spot a few gaps here, and they're definitely opening up. Everyone's getting tired, so gaps are about to appear. And knock on. Yeah, but yeah, the gaps are starting to appear, so we could get a decent amount of runs. But that was a really great run from about the halfway up to 22, and good support as well. Just at the end, just a little maybe fatigue as well can just make it a bit difficult, especially with the heat and everything. It can make it very difficult to gather the ball.
So those last few phases was the Warriors doing what they like to do on the pitch. A lot of support, a couple short offloads, get the ball out a little wider, a couple nice games, protect the ball. Run, hit, ruck. Run, hit, ruck. Now they're on defense again. That looked like that was an 8-man pickup. Kind of sloppy ball. Here's a low kick. Really back for it. Let's see how the ball sets up. So no real territory game, but a tournament. It didn't actually work very well for you guys.
Well, at this stage in the game, Jyväskylä are just going to probably try and run down the clock a little bit. I think they have the 4 tries, so bonus point is secured. Then it will just be about injury management, and they'll be hoping that's a very big hit. But yeah, Jyväskylä will be hoping not to pick up any injuries that could make it difficult for them in future games. Really hitting a very hard line there and a good offload as well. So that's about 2 or 3 meters down. And another ball out to Lilina, and here we go. Good support on it. Yeah, so because there was a bit of a diagonal one, Jyväskylä were able to come up and meet the tackle. Oh, here we go. Ball's out. And as you can see, Jyväskylä are committing about 4 or 5 people very close to the ruck, which means that out wide, Wally are going to have a lot of space. Oh, that's a great line pick. And Ilona has the ball now and into the ruck. There's a bit of confusion there, but Wally still have the ball and it's still being played.
Yeah, if you don't hear the whistle, you have to keep playing, even though something looks, like an egregious offside. Okay, Wally's still driving over the ball. These are the hard-fought meters. Grind. Okay, another big hit in the tackle. Wally secures the ball. Ball's going to go wide. Peter cuts back up. That's a okay pass. Oh, great offload to the fullback. She's a dangerous runner. Support is there. Now, somebody came in a mile off sides and green and yellow, but it didn't really impact the play. There's a nice crash ball.
Yeah, it looks like the linesman did call for something on the side there, and now it looks like a penalty will be given. It'd be interesting to see what side came from. We also have a Wally player down at the side. Is that Urian that's on the ground? Oh, 11, Phil Malone is down on the ground. The magic cold spray. Her knee's going to be fixed in no time. But yeah, it's a penalty to Jyväskylä. It looks like maybe it was coming in a bit from the side in the ruck. But because you have to come in direct to the ruck from the back, so if you come in from the side, the referees can ping it. It looked like the main official missed it, but that's why there's a sideline ref as well. He picked it up and told the ref.
Yeah, we could see a opposing player come in from the side, but that must have happened after the initial penalty. Okay, so that was a short kick. A little bit of a break in the wind right now. Looks like the wind settling down. Feels a lot hotter without the wind blowing. Line out to Jyväskylä, and they've been pretty successful with these lineouts. This would be a great moment for Wally to steal.
Yeah, it's also getting a bit hotter because we can feel the heat of the barbecue here. That's at the Warriors Cafe. Anyone in the crowd, please go down to the Warriors Cafe.
So as you can imagine, Tony and I have spent a long time in our various different places around rugby, and we're still both scratching our heads a little bit at some of the signals from the ref. Now it's obvious that it's a scrum. Now it's obvious that it's a Wally put in, but we weren't really sure what he was signaling there for a minute.
In all my years playing with the position I play, I don't need to know the rules or anything. So I've never actually learned, oh, this is a great turnover by Jyväskylä. It's just a very strong scrum. And now they're going to get the ball. There's a gap open up in the middle. Maybe that step inside was a bit too long. And there's also a steal by Lily. And the referee has called for a penalty to Wally. His back is to us, so I didn't see the signal he called for. It looks like holding on with the ball on the ground, which you're not meant to do. You're supposed to try and release the ball as quickly as you can. The Warriors are going to run it. Oh, right steal from Jyväskylä. Warriors will be hoping at this stage to come a little against them, but maybe if they get 2 tries, for example, they can get a losing bonus point, which will be very helpful, but at the moment it doesn't look like Jyväskylä just holding strong now. And they're making ground as well.
Well, that's a forward pass. That's a forward pass for sure.
Yeah, as we've only got 2 official refs, the sideline ref was in the wrong position to the referee. If you had a third ref, you would have noticed it, but anyway, Warriors come out with the ball. Julian is on the sideline, she could very well stay in touch or stay in play there. And now they're running it in.
Nice crash ball, good support. Jyväskylä is hitting those rocks and making the Warriors work to possess that ball. Their work rate is really quite impressive.
The one thing that helped Warriors in the victory against Tampere 2 weeks ago was they didn't have to commit that many players into the ruck, whereas today Jyväskylä are forcing them to commit players into the ruck, which means they don't have a lot of players to go out wide. Has been having some really great runs here, and that was just another one delayed to let the players get back in the position. As we have the wings coming back as well, so this is going to make it interesting. Balls coming out. Oh, Wings picked a good line, and she's brought it back inside. She's through up to about 22. She tries to offload to Julian, but gets dropped forward, and now Jyväskylä have the ball on attack again.
Big stiff on that Jyväskylä runner. I can't see what the number is, just the one who just pushed the ball. Jyväskylä runs hard. Okay, that ball goes out. It's going to be line out Wally.
We also have a Wally play. Is it Wally or there's a very big clash of kits here, so it is making it very difficult when you can't see fully with like the full kit. So I'm not sure what player is down. Oh, it's in. So yeah, it's a Jyväskylä player that's down. Okay.
Yeah, everybody has some black, and everybody has quite a bit of yellow. So it's either you can see more black and a little green, or you can't. Excellent line out there. Clean taken by Lily. Big hit at the rock. That'll teach you to stand up in the rock. Hit like that. Woo! Ball's out.
It looks like Ida's away. Ida has a one-on-one run here, and she puts inside and just support tackler gets there. One of the Warriors ruck supporters just got tripped from a player that was on the ground, which is completely accidental, but Warriors still have the ball out wide. And there's a penalty advantage. Warriors decided to attack the blind side, but now they come back to the open side. A good offload by Ruby. Oh, and then there's a break up to the 22. Warriors are down, still penalty advantage. The referee called no hands in the ruck. This is a good run up to the 22. Warriors will be hoping to get a good one. There's an overlap out wide, but here we go. Ida has the ball out wide, and she can just get the one more pass. Will it go backwards? No. The referee deemed that it did go forward, even though the original pass might have gone backwards, but just bobbled forward, so it's a bit unfortunate there, but Wally's proving that they still think that they can get the ball out wide. They're making some good ones. There was 2 breaks, and Jyväskylä weren't ready to see space going down the middle. She ran down the middle, made a lot of yardage, falling out wide, and there's more breaks there. And if the last pass was there, there's usually a try for Warriors. And Warriors can usually get tries by going wide here. Jyväskylä are playing very narrow. And there's definitely some space out there. As you can see that Warriors are overloading their blind side wing as the top of the
So in these windy conditions, the passes, they just float all over the place. It's really hard to maintain passing. So Jyväskylä is playing narrow to protect their possession, but that has some consequences. If you can pass effectively wide, then you have way more space and where there's way fewer defenders. But if you can't, if you struggle with your passes and they're not clean, then you're not punishing the opposition as much as you hope for lining up narrow. This is a ball possession game, so in conditions like this, you should make sure you line up narrow enough to ensure that you can get the ball. You're not taking advantage of someone else's narrowness if you can't maintain possession of the ball against you. So we did have a penalty here. Looks like Jyväskylä is getting a talking to because it's close to the try line.
Yeah, giving away penalties on the try line, it's once you hit one, it becomes a domino effect. There's going to be penalty after penalty after penalty, and accumulation of penalties can lead to a yellow. So this looks like there's just a talking to telling it's probably an official warning before any cards come out. But giving away penalties at this area, it looks very difficult. Like there's chances of penalty tries being given, for example, or cards coming out. So once you give away the first penalty, you kind of want to just make sure you're not giving away another, because it just starts coming one after another after another.
Yeah, the consequences really escalate when you commit infringements down by your goal line. The assumption by the ref is you have to play extra clean on defense. And it's just hard to do. They get a little pickier. It's just a matter of ensuring that people aren't giving away a penalty because the penalty is less dangerous and problematic than a score. It does look like we had a Jyväskylä sub, one of their front rows come off.
Yeah, it was a very good hard run by Wally there, but Jyväskylä were equally up to match it with the Warriors, and he got a good pass out wide. It was just a little bit too low with the wind as well, so Jyväskylä dodged the bullet there. But now, great cut inside, great cut inside. That's we're about 5 meters away, maybe a little bit, 10 meters maybe. But the gaps are definitely appearing in the Jyväskylä defense, and Warriors just need to jump on it. But Jyväskylä are very strong, they're coming up, and they're needing any form of aggression. And here we go. Good crash, and almost there. The referee did have his hand up. I don't know if he's signaling for advantage, but there we go. It was just a little side step there before receiving the ball that just took away the momentum. Ida has now called a switch, and now they come down the open side. Great offload, and Lily is just held up on the line. Now Julian goes for the line, held up at the moment, but maybe, and that's a try for Warriors. Really good work. Well, I think the try was, I don't know who's officially getting the try. Julian did take the ball in the match, but I don't know if there's a offload there or not, but it's a good try. This is a very difficult win because of the wind, but it is very wide, so I fancy Julian's chances here. She's got a very good boot on her, so maybe you could be seeing an extra 2 points here.
So one of the things that I love to see in any rugby game is a team that is behind, that continues to work really, really hard and grinds out some points just as a matter of respect. They're earning respect from opposition, and they're declaring their own self-respect with their effort. There's no quit in any of the women on this field. And that's just one of the things that you see in rugby that you don't always see in other sports. Just across the front, good long strikes, but didn't quite go through, and that's full time. So, Warriors 12, Jyväskylä 24.
Yeah, Warriors would be 10 and Jyväskylä 24. 14 points in the end, but honestly the scoreboard doesn't show how close this game was in reality. Just a couple of painful attacks from Jyväskylä is pretty much the difference. It's very even on the field, I feel. Just a couple more clinical attacks from Jyväskylä is the big difference today, but very good game from both sides, and Warriors finished strong. But yeah, just a couple of breaks from Jyväskylä where they had the space, the one-on-one attacks just was the difference today.
Yeah, the couple things that stick out in my mind is Jyväskylä made the Warriors work very hard to retain the ball. They did very well in the lineouts, and they were hard chargers who the Warriors struggled at times to tackle. One person not quite making a clean tackle, or not quite making enough of a tackle to allow help to arrive in time, can make a big difference on the scoreboard. Jyväskylä benefited from excellent ball handling and just found those little seams and found a way to shake off just enough of the tackles to open up some big runs and some big opportunities. Hard-fought match for both teams clearly. Looks like no one got injured seriously, which always makes for a great outcome. And now we're going to see something in rugby that you just don't see in other games. This is where the folks on each side thank each other for a hard-fought game, demonstrate excellent tradition of sportsmanship, and acknowledge each other's tenacity and just respect for each other. It might also be a case of beer changing hands as well.
So if you want to go down and party with these crazy ladies tonight, they'd probably be down in the Aussie bar. They definitely are the ones who clean up the bar, not the men. We are being put to shame by the Wally side, so please get down there. Hopefully today will make more even numbers, but more than likely Wally are gonna beat the men again today on attendance in the Aussie bar. But also just get something in your stomachs before and head down to the Lazy Fox. Some decent grub down there, and you can have a few pre-drinks before you head down to Aussie bar there as well.
And if you think you're going to keep up with these ladies, bring your liver and don't plan on doing much tomorrow.
These ladies will still be drinking tomorrow, so take your whole weekend off, maybe take your whole week's holiday off, because there's no keeping up with these ladies.
Okay, so Tony and I are going to take a break. The men's game will follow in something like 15-20 minutes.